Hello and good evening to Miss Law and all my friends. We are from Group 7. So today we are going to present for the subject SSK 1207, Computer Organization and Assembly Language. So our title for today is Guess the Number. So my name is Sherry Bidi Siswan.
My name is Nergisina Atirorita Misha.
My name is Arabella Grace Ana Aluna.
My name is Raymond Tan Wan Lim.
So this is our table of contents. So the first one is introduction. Next is implementation, procedures or codes, screenshot interface, references, and finally is conclusion and recommendation. So for our introduction, for the first one is this project involves developing a number guessing game in MASM assembly. Players try to guess a randomly generated number within a set range. The project enhances logical thinking and problem-solving skills while demonstrating loops, conditionals, and user input handling in assembly. Next, for the second one is we improve an existing version of the game by fixing inefficiencies, optimizing logic, and enhancing user interaction. This project highlights debugging, optimization, and structured coding in low-level programming. Next, I will pass to Christina.
Alright, so here the information. So we customize the design for the game guess the number text, a big sound effect for the both game and start, and when the player wins. Option for hints and quitting the games. If the player press enter without entering a value, a prompt will appear instructing them to input a number. So no limit of 3 attempts. Player can keep guessing until they win. I will pass to the Raymond.
So this one is the original code, and this is the modified code. Okay, so I will use the flowchart to explain the code. So I will explain the original code first. Okay, so for the start of the program, at the start of the program will display message. Display message gets the number. The player will be able to enter a number. So if the number entered is the random number, it will display message, you guess it right. And then it will display another message, want to play again, Y for yes. If the player doesn't enter Y, it will end the program. If the player enters yes, it will display the message guess the number again. So if the number entered by the player is not the random number, then it will display message wrong guess, try again. And the player will get 3 chances to guess the number. If 3 chances are used, the program will display message number was and the random number. So this would be our modified code. Start game, Y or N. If the player enters Y, then it will display message guess a number between 1 and 100. If the player enters a number, then and the number is smaller than the random number, it will display message too low. If the number is bigger than the random number, it will display message too high. If the number entered by the user is a symbol or a negative value, then it will display message entry must be number from 1 to 100. If the number is equal to the random number, it will display message you won. And then it will go back to the first message, display message start game. So if the player doesn't enter Y, it will automatically end the program. So if the player enters H, which is hint, the player will get 5 chances. And so if the 5 chances are used, all it will display message all the hints are over. Use the hints wisely. So these hints are evaluated based on these 3 factors, which are odd numbers, even numbers, divisible or not divisible by number 3, 5, and 7. And so if the player clicks on the change font, it will reformat the words. If the player clicks clear, it will clear and reset the page. And if the player enters Q, it will quit the program. And that's it. Now I'll pass it to Sharon.
So I'm going to explain the original program screenshot interface. So this is the main interface displays. So this is the display that will be displayed with user input by 3 chances program display. So this is the display of wrong guess and try again statement that will be displayed after user failed guessing the correct number. Then the program will display the correct number and display whether the player wanted to play it again or not. So for this one, this is a display that it will display you guess it right when the player guesses a right number, and the program will display whether the player wanted to play it again or not. So this is the modified program screenshot interface. So this is the how it looks like for the main interface displays. So this is the program display when player entered Y to start the game. If the player entered Q, the program would end. The statement of guess a number between 1 and 100, which contained with hints, quit will be displayed. The program will provide hints when player enter H, and it will let player to guess a number between 1 and 100. So for this one, the program will determine whether the value entered by the player is too high or too low, so the player can guess the number in a more accurate way. So the program will let the player to guess a number again. For the next one, a message enter must be a number from 1 to 100. Quit will be displayed whenever the player didn't enter any value before clicking enter button. The program will ask the player to guess a number again. So this is display you want statement when the player successfully guess a correct number. The program will ask the player whether to continue the game or not. The program will also ask the player to guess a number between 1 and 100 if the player decided to continue the game, or else the game will end. So this is our references for our presentation. Next, I will pass to Arabella.
This is the conclusion and recommendation for the game project. So this game project help us improve our understanding of assembly language and programming concept like loops and conditional and user input handling. For recommendation, we can improve the efficiency of the game. Besides that, we can further optimize the code to make it run faster and smoother. Moreover, we can also make a better interface by adding a graphical interface to make the game more enjoyable. Moreover, we can add more features, including difficulty levels or a scoring system, to make the game more interesting. By applying this recommendation, the game can be improved while continuing to build programming skills. That's it from us. Thank you.
Before we end our presentation, I will show you the game demo. So this is our original assembly code for our guess the number game. Next, this is our modified assembly code for our guess the number game. That's all from us. Thank you.